everybody, it's Lisa Burningham and I'm so glad that you're here with me. Now, I love decorating my home for the fall. Usually I decorate with beautiful pumpkins or a lovely tablescape or a beautiful wreath, but today we're gonna go in a light-hearted direction and I'm gonna show you how to make these cute little fall gnomes. Now, these light-hearted little guys are gonna bring a lot of charm and whimsy to my home, and I'm excited to decorate with them for fall and to show you how to make an affordable and easy DIY gnome. If this is the first time you've been to my channel, then welcome. I'm Lisa. I do DIYs, home decor, party ideas, and holiday entertaining. So if that's something that you like, then I would love it if you would subscribe and join my channel. I post weekly videos on all of those things, and I would love to have you join me. Today I'm participating in the DIY Mommy's DIY Fall Decor Challenge. Now, if you don't know who she is, she does amazing things on her channel. She does home decor, she does affordable DIYs, and a whole bunch of other things. I will leave a link to her channel in the description box below, as well as a link to the playlist, so you can see what the other participants came up with. This foam form is the perfect size and shape for our gnome. Now, I got this at the Dollar Tree. It was in the floral section. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover it up because I don't want any of this white part to show through. So I'm gonna use some burlap. And what I did is I just cut it to the size and the shape that I needed to cover up my foam. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hot glue this burlap onto the foam, and then it will be nice and covered. Now it's time to make the beard for our gnome. Now, there are a lot of options when it comes to making beards. You could use some faux fur, you could use some yarn, you could use some strips of material and just cut them up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a mop from the Dollar Tree. And all I'm gonna do is just twist the pole off the end of the mop, and I'm left with this shaggy little part that's gonna be perfect for my beard. Now I'm gonna add the beard on top of my cone. Now, this mop is so convenient. It's got this plastic thing at the top. It's almost like a hat. So you can just turn it over and you can see that it divides it really nicely. And I'm going to put some glue right in the center, and then I'm going to place it right on top of my cone, and then I'm gonna fluff up my little strands so I have a great beard for my gnome. To make my hat, I'm going to use some dishcloths. Now, I got this set of 3 dishcloths at Burlington for $6.99. And I'm only gonna end up using these 2 for the hats. So not only do I get hats, but I get a bonus dishcloth. There are a lot of options when it comes to fabric for your hats. You can, of course, just use regular material. You could use a tablecloth or a placemat, or even an old flannel shirt would be a fantastic option to make your hat. To make a pattern for my hat, I'm just gonna use some regular old white copy paper. Now, what I did was I folded the paper in half and I just cut out a triangle to get my form. Now, this is an easy and cheap way to make a pattern, and all I'm gonna do is fold my material in half. I'm going to pin my form on the top of the material, and then I can cut around it, and then I will get 2 identical triangles. Now I'm gonna sew these together, and it is gonna be like the easiest project ever because there's already a hem on the bottom, so I'm literally just sewing up each side. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them together so that the seam is on the outside. So when I sew it and then eventually flip it over, the finished edge will be on the outside. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can hand stitch this together, or you could even use hot glue. I pinned the 2 triangle pieces together and then sewed a straight line right along the edge of the entire length of the triangle. Now that I'm at the top of the hat, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna cut a piece of twine and I'm gonna sew that to the top, because what I wanna do is I wanna have this hanging from the top of the hat, and I'm gonna put a little embellishment on there just to add some extra interest, but also to weigh the hat down so it's floppy. I sewed in my 3-inch piece of twine at the top and then continued sewing a straight line on the other side of the triangle. Now that my hat is done, I'm gonna flip it inside out so we've got a nice finished edge. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use a chopstick. I'm gonna stick the chopstick inside and it's going to be able to flip it around really nicely. And then it will also be able to poke it through the top so the top is nice and pointy. And then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna fill it with some shredded paper. Now this is great, I love using this stuff because you can form it really easily. However, if you don't have shredded paper, you could use some cotton balls or cotton batting and that would work great too. Okay, now I'm gonna pop my little hat on top of my gnome. Just gonna pull it on really snug. And then what I'm gonna do is once my hat is on, I can figure out where I wanna put my nose. Now my nose is a grape. I loved the color of it. It's just from a floral pick and I just pulled it off. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tuck it right up inside, right underneath the hat, and I'm gonna hot glue it to the foam. And that way it is secured to the foam, and then I can tuck my little hat right over the top of the nose. Now it's time to embellish our little gnome. And because it's fall, I'm gonna use some fall inspired embellishments. I got these little wooden pumpkins and leaves at the Dollar Tree. They're just stickers. So I'm just gonna peel off the back and then I can add it right onto my twine. I'm gonna add one on one side and one on the other. That way it's heavier and it'll weigh it down. And then I'm also gonna use some ribbon. I'm gonna tie some ribbon around the brim of the hat. I'm gonna hot glue it on and then I'm going to add another pumpkin in the center and it's gonna look fantastic. Now it's time to style the beards. Now, I wanted to do it to look like a Viking. I don't know why. I don't know if it's Viking season in the fall. I'm not sure. I guess it is today. But I did some braids on this guy, and over here I'm gonna do it into like some little bubbles, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna make some little ties, 2 of them. And I think adding some extra little embellishments and some detail makes your piece one of a kind and unique. Using the same twine, I tied 2 knots on each side of the nose. Then I puffed them up slightly so I got some rounded bubbles of beard. Now our autumn gnomes are finished and ready to be put on display. I'm adding my striped hat gnome to the top of a tiered tray and the checked hat gnome to the side. And of course, we need a reminder that there's no place like gnome. I'm also adding a few stems of fall leaves and a couple of suede pumpkins. And finally, I'll finish the look off with some pine cone acorns. Now I've got everything styled, from my sign to my pumpkins and my leaves. Everything just looks like fall. I'm so excited to have these little gnomes. They make me smile every time I look at them. I can't walk past without breaking out into a little giggle. And they're a fun little piece because it's kind of non-traditional. You don't see these very often in fall decorating. So having non-traditional pieces are a fun way to bring in a little creativity and whimsy into your decor. I hope you enjoyed decorating with me today and doing these gnomes, and I hope you got some inspiration so you can decorate your home for fall. These adorable autumn gnomes were so easy and affordable to create. This whimsical duo will definitely bring a smile to everyone who sees them. If you're looking for other ways to decorate your home for fall, I've got some ideas for you. And as always, thank you so much for watching.